Hi, my name is Eirik, and this is the story of how me and my wife ended up in a remote farm in Norway. The choice of country is kind of obvious, as both me and my wife are Norwegians. However, that's not the only reason. It's a country full of untouched beautiful natures, from the deep fjords to the beautiful mountains. Every lungful of the clean air gives energy to body and mind. The bigger question then is, why buy a farm? There is no secret that small farms were abandoned for a reason. In the modern world, there is no room for small, inefficient farms, so why buy one? To answer that question, we have to go back nearly 20 years to a young adult and a Nintendo 64 game called Harvest Moon. I was a gamer in my younger days, but I was not a typical one. I hated the popular games with war scenes and lots of fighting. For me, the setting was just as important. I loved games with beautiful nature. Harvest Moon was by then already an old game that I tried on a Nintendo 64 emulator on a PC. The graphics was terrible and the story of the game was quite boring, but the calm life on the farm and in the small town spoke to me. I became obsessed with the game and soon started to fantasize about creating this life for real. I spent hours looking at farms online, and after a few years I bid on several farms in the area where I grew up. I was not successful. The cost always ended up too high for what a young single guy could afford. I ended instead up buying an old abandoned cottage in the middle of the woods. It did not have a bathroom or indoor plumbing, but it was my little piece of nature. I used a lot of time renovating this cottage, but there was always something missing. Although I loved the beautiful nature on the property and the boathouse by the fjords, it could not replace my longing. I wanted land and animals. Some years later I met my wife. We bought an apartment in Bergen, the second largest city in Norway, and kept the cottage as a weekend and vacation home. We both hated the city. We felt trapped in the apartment, and the weekends on the cottage in the woods was our only place where we could breathe. We sold the apartment after just 1 year. The plan was to live in the cottage while saving up money to buy a farm. But the opportunity presented itself just a few weeks later. The 32 acres farm looked perfect. The price was not too bad, and the farm was in a remote location while still close to our friends and family. Due to some luck while selling our cottage and apartment, we had the financial muscles I lacked when I was younger. The farm was ours. We had the farm we dreamed about. Now we needed to start creating the easy lifestyle we wanted. We started with 2 pigs. The next animals on our farm were the sheep. Later we got chickens and even some turkeys. It really started to look like a farm. Our first child came just after we had bought the farm. We had wanted a child for some time, so we were in heaven. The farmhouse had not been touched since the 70s, so it needed a lot of renovation. He came early and saw our living room were missing the windows when he moved in. Luckily, we got them the first week. The dynamic in the working duo had changed. We were not prepared of how much work raising a baby is. I was working on the farm alone in the afternoons. In the daytime I was working an 8-hour workday with 2 hours commute. I always felt guilty for not spending enough time with my family. 2 years later our daughter was born. It was a happy time, but it became increasingly difficult to find time for the farm. All renovations on the farmhouse had stopped. Then came the final blow. Our daughter did not hit any of the expected milestones. We started to worry that something was wrong after the first month. We had no eye contact and no smile. After she was 6 months old, the doctors agreed. That was the start of a 1.5-year medical examination. She had an ultra-rare genetic mutation called DDX2X syndrome. So we had the farm in our dreams, but we were not living the dream. The only time we had for the farm was after the workday had ended and the kids were in bed. The problem with our dream was that it was in conflict with a modern society. If you want to live off a farm, you will need to have a really big one. It has to be a factory with milking robots and giant machines for harvesting. The romantic picture I had in my mind is what is sold to our children in nighttime stories. No animals are treated that way in modern farms. Many of the animals we eat have never seen the sun. Our farm was too small for us to make any money. It was not a job, it was a hobby. You don't get rich from your hobby. I got a job closer to my home, and that helped. My wife also got a job as she had used her maternity leave that consumes the extra time that we had saved. Our problem is that modern society decides what is a job and what is not. Moving papers is a job. In many cases, those jobs are created from ever-growing bureaucracy. What is important for humans are not considered important anymore. You can live without applying for a building permit for a garden shed, but you cannot live without food. Those that reject your permit makes more money than those who produce your food. Modern society are made to squeeze everybody into A4 life, either you belong there or not. We are not giving up the dream just yet. The food is much more expensive in the shops than what the farmer gets, so we have started to produce our own food. The more we save, the less we need to earn. We have also always been careful with loans. They are a great way of trapping people. If you want a place to live, you will have to pay on your loans until you are retired. You can also buy new shiny things that society say you need for money you don't have. It will only cost you your freedom. We had some luck when we sold our property, and we have never taken up more loan than what we absolutely needed. Because of that, we have 10 times less loan than what is normal for a couple our age. So, we do not have an end to our story. Those pages have not been written yet. The moments when we can be outside with our animals or in the garden close to nature keeps us going when life is difficult. We are constantly searching for a way to get incomes on our farm so we can do what we love full time. If you want to help, you can push the red subscribe button under the video screen. It does not cost you anything, but it will help out our channel. Please also hit the thumbs up if you like this video. That will make YouTube spread it to more people. Thank you for watching. We will see you on the next video.